Welcome to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast, where you can learn and be inspired by real-world examples of how technology is transforming businesses and reshaping industries in a language everyone can understand. Here is your host, Neil C. Hughes.
Welcome back to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast. Now, as you all know, the Bitcoin halvening has got everyone talking about blockchain and crypto once again. And germaphobes are turning their back on physical cash, not wanting to touch cash and banknotes, not knowing where it's actually been. And there really does seem to be a thirst for change in the air. But today, I wanted to dip my toes in the world of blockchain again and learn more about how this new tech is solving legacy problems. So today's guest is the CEO of Aqilliz, a blockchain solutions provider that looks to address a wide range of issues across the platform economy. And he is affectionately known as the G-Man across Asia's advertising community. His career spans over 20 years across the continent, having held multiple positions during his tenure at the WPP group of companies. And throughout his career, the G-Man has worked with leading global FMCG conglomerates such as PepsiCo, Unilever, and so many more. But most recently, G-Man was the global client lead at WPP and blockchain solutions lead at Group M, where he looked to introduce blockchain solutions and distributed ledger technology to WPP clients worldwide. And although that is a lengthy intro, I'm just scratching the surface, so buckle up and hold on tight so I can beam your ears all the way to Singapore so we can speak with the G-Man right now. So a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell the listeners a little about who you are and what you do?
Yes, thanks, Neil. My name is Gautaman. People normally call me G-Man, as it is easy to pronounce. I'm set up a company called Aqilliz, which is a blockchain-based technology company for the marketing industry. Typically, you hear about fintech and cryptocurrencies when you talk about blockchain, but here I am taking a plunge to solve some serious problems in the marketing industry with the power of blockchain technology. So that's me.
There's so many cool names in the blockchain industry, but the G-Man, I think that's possibly the coolest one I've heard so far.
Yes.
But for anyone listening who might be hearing about you for the first time, can you just give me a bit of an overview of Aqilliz, what it aims to do, and what are the problems that it intends to solve in this digital marketing ecosystem?
Right. So Aqilliz is, as very intelligently put, it's the reverse of Zilliqa. Zilliqa is the high-throughput blockchain platform on which we have built our applications. Typically, the conventional comments are all about blockchain is for low latency, low volume transaction businesses. But Zilliqa has got the sharding technology that ensures that it is scalable for large businesses. So to all those who are listening to this, Aqilliz is a application built on Zilliqa's high throughput blockchain platform. The specific purpose is to solve the three big issues that is plaguing the marketing industry. One, that of privacy protection, the other one of the provenance and ad fraud and fake news kind of mitigations in the industry, and above all, personalization at scale, because we are in a stage where we don't know where privacy ends and the personalization begins, often without knowing the price we pay for our privacy. So that's the context in which Aqilliz is set up.
And for many people listening, this will be an incredibly crowded marketplace at the moment. So how does Aqilliz leverage blockchain, and what makes it different from all those other ad tech and martech blockchain-enabled solutions that are out there at the moment?
Yes. So if you look at, people normally refer it to a Lumascape of 4,000, 5,000 companies in the ad tech, martech space, or the other configuration of 40 different technologies that are there today between the brand and the consumer. But the problem is all of them are trying to solve a particular problem in a siloed manner. And typically, I've been in this industry for 30 years. I've seen this lumascape of companies grow from a meager 2,000 to 7,000 today. And one of the main reasons why it grew to this scape of so many companies is because every solution was a band-aid to solve a previous problem. So nobody was actually getting into a situation where we were trying to solve the problems in the industry as a whole, but we tried to solve problems in as a reactionary measure. So that's where Aqilliz wants to come as a distributed technology layer for all of them in the ecosystem to connect together. So there are not many companies, Neil, and to the people who are listening to this, that people are using distributed ledger technology for marketing industries. I'll probably count it down to 10 to 15 companies. But yes, we are trying to solve a very legacy problem of band-aids to mitigate some of these issues. Yeah.
And for everyone listening, can you tell me a little bit more about how it all works and how it is powered by Zilliqa's high-throughput blockchain platform? Because I think that's the really interesting part, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. So if I have to sort of take a step back, the way we work is at the fundamental issue is about data. And today, every organization or every enterprises own only 1/3 of the data that they are using. The remaining 2/3 of data is out in the marketplace, owned by someone. So you need to either buy it or secure it or protect it and then process it for your own benefits, whether it is advertising or targeting or campaign management and attribution. So what Aqilliz does at the core is to ingest different streams of data in a privacy compliant manner on a distributed ledger where there is no multiple source of truth, Neil. So today there are different claims of the same activity. And if those who are listening to this, who are from the marketing industry, we all know this, what we call as a tech stack or a working media, non-working media technology. So we are already living in a clouded technology stack that is connecting brands to the consumers. And each one of them have their own version of whether a person has seen the ad or not. Or sometimes you don't know whether it is a person or a bot. So what Aqilliz does is to reconcile multiple versions of truth to one single version of truth for the industry to follow, so that we exactly know whether the activity is accomplished or not. Okay, and we use Zilliqa as a public blockchain for recording the immutability of this transaction, so that when we refer back to as a proof for settlement or action or payment, it is an immutable ledger that is available for the industry or for the ecosystem partner to work on instead of having multiple versions. So to answer to your question, Neil, it is about using the technology of distributed ledger so that all the ecosystem partners see the single source of truth or the single version of truth instead of multiple versions of truth. If that explains.
Absolutely. And I think it's also worth highlighting that you've had over 20 years experience in the traditional advertising industry. So I've got to ask, what made you opt for a career in emerging tech, and what lessons were learned in this transition away from the industry?
Oh, yes. So when I was in my earlier role in WPP, I was a global client lead for a large MNC client. And I was also in charge of deploying technology in advertising and in marketing. It was one of those aha moments where when we were trying to find out our preparedness for the industry in managing data, I stumbled upon distributed ledger technology. And at that time, it was all about cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin and all the other interesting things that comes from the distributed ledger. I was trying to find a way in, if it is if at all possible, to use this technology in the industry, and we did run a few pilots, proof of concepts under my guidance at the time, and we could really establish 15 to 20% productivity. That's when I realized that there is something definitely in it to make it into a scalable product or an application. And when I was continuing to focus on this to make it into a scalable version, I felt that I'm already 50. I might as well take a chance to jump in and do it myself. So I quit WPP to set this company up. It requires a little bit of conviction on the technology, in as much as some people call it, I'm slightly mad in doing this or eccentric in doing it. But 6 months has been extremely productive. We have brought our vision to life. We have more than 6 to 7 proof of concepts running right now into a product. We have extended this application from digital advertising to even over-the-top television with connected TV, linear TV, out of home, and other data-related initiatives within the marketing industry. And to be honest, when Google announced that they're going to pull the plug on third-party cookies in the next 18 months' time, it even enforced the conviction I have that this technology has got a lot to offer, and we are working on a privacy-compliant product right now. So 6 months has been, I would say, under the garage, so to speak. Thanks to COVID-19, it is extended to 3 more months, but our team is working as hard as they have been pre-COVID in getting our products up and running.
And what insights on the pressing issues in that digital media ecosystem can you share with us today? Because it's so far-reaching, for example, in areas such as privacy, content integrity, data collection practices, fraud, as well as this rise of fragmented platform ecosystems. But what pressing issues are you seeing?
Yeah, so if you, absolutely good question, Neil. So if you look at, if you ignore for a minute the walled gardens of Google and Facebook and what they do within that ecosystem, a good $120 billion of money is being spent on programmatic advertising outside the gardens. And almost half of this money is going towards building the technology that's required to run this campaign. That is, let's say, $35 to $40 billion. Despite putting this $40 billion on the table to build the technology, we still have a lot of ambiguity in whether the advertising has appeared or not, whether it has appeared in full form or not. So we're talking about ambiguity of the magnitude of $120 billion. And equally, Juniper Research published an article to say that up to $40 billion of all advertising is fraudulent, because we really don't know whether a human being watched that ad or it is a bot that claimed to be clicking this particular ad. So we're talking about some very large scale questions that needs to be answered. And this technology ensures that there is enough transparency in the entire supply chain for the ecosystem to know whether these ads are fraudulent or not, or whether the ads have appeared or not. So that, to my mind, is the biggest problem which we're trying to solve today, Neil. Over and above that, today, GDPR in European Union or CCPA in the US, which is going to become a global sort of an American, all pan-American regulation, whether it's in India as personal data protection bill or another world, out of the 7 billion population estimated, 4 to 5 billion population will be governed by some regulation or the other on privacy protection, protecting individuals' data. Today, the data is abused a lot more than used, and it is being traded without consent, which essentially means that we are identity and identity-based targeting is suspect. So half the money we estimate in our business as wasted to that extent, because we think that we are reaching out this particular individual, but 5 out of 10 times that person is not the right person. So a lot more prescriptive and a deterministic targeting of the consumer is required for the betterment of the ad industry. So we believe this technology provides both. So to that extent, the entire advertising business, as it becomes more and more digital, this technology is going to throw a lot of light into the positive side of things. So that's the conviction we are into.
And another one of the big topics with any business in this industry is adoption and partnership. So I've got to ask, I mean, who do you work with and how do you add value to your clients, and what kind of companies benefit most from your technology?
Yes, I think a good question. By nature of this business, it is a collaborative business. Blockchain is itself a team sport. It is a distributed and decentralized nature of technology as well. So we do have quite a few partners. Some of them I can disclose. Some of them are under discussions. But yes, we have a company called Brightpool, with whom we work actively in the identity space. We work with Moving Walls, an out-of-home company for providing provenance in digital out-of-home. We work actively with a company called Arca Consulting on privacy, regulations, and consultancy. And yes, we are also working with the leading advertising networks with whom our brands, our clients are working on, whether it is WPP or IPG or any other networks, Neil. Some of which I cannot disclose, but yes, we are working with all the communication networks. We are working with a lot of communication partners and the tech ecosystem, because we believe that this technology is supposed to be a layer that connects everybody.
And of course, in any blockchain interview, there's always going to be a community of fans listening out there, hungry for roadmaps and updates. And like you said a few moments ago, you are going to be locked down to NDAs, and it must be frustrating not being able to share a lot of the great news and the great work that you're working on. But what is next for Aqilliz, and what is your grand vision? Is there anything you can leave us with today on that subject?
Oh, absolutely. So, I think if you look at the way the digital marketing ecosystem is evolving, it is still not touched 50% of the marketing spends in most parts of the world. So Aqilliz, for us, it is if you're going to be riding the wave of digital adoption, and at the cost of being insensitive, COVID-19 is something which is going to accelerate more digital opportunities for the consumers, be it online entertainment or online education or telemedicine, gaming, online shopping. So more and more consumers are going to come online for their experiences. So more consumers on the digital platform. Identities are very important for us. Identity management is important for us. Provenance is important for us, and how some of these experiences are personalized for the consumers are important. So Aqilliz has got in the roadmap to be a company that provides this kind of a technology for a multitude of companies who are going to leverage the digital platform, whether it is sports entertainment, or whether it's connected television or gaming, or pure simple rewards management. Take an example. If all of us have at least 5 or 6 different kinds of loyalty programs, and we have many cards in our pockets, it gives us whether it is air miles or retail store points or so on and so forth. How we wish that all these rewards points can be seamlessly connected and conveniently used amongst those reward merchants. And distributed ledger technology comes in very efficiently in creating a platform for consumers to seamlessly, in a convenient manner, convert air miles for a cup of coffee. So our vision going into the next at least 2 to 3 years' time is to be in a space where we provide trusted, transparent, and convenient online platforms for the consumers. And I don't think 3 3 years is enough, Neil. I think we'll probably be delivering this at scale and speed for more clients in all across the world. And our product is built as a software as a service model. So scaling up is easier, but it is all about continuing to provide this service for as many of our consumers and clients.
Fantastic. And for anyone listening that would like to join your community, find you online, or even contact your team, any questions, what's the best way of doing that?
The best way is we keep our website www.aqilliz.com as a single point contact, aqilliz.com. We keep updating our latest developments through in the blog page, right up to what was announced in UK yesterday on the transparency in the programmatic supply chain and a review on it. Our products and the features are already available there for those who are interested in accessing it. Our LinkedIn profile talks about our views and our frequent trends and point of views on what's happening in the marketplace. But yes, our web page is our home. I sincerely request those who are listening to it, and if they really want to know more about it, do write to us, and we will get back to you within 24 hours.
Well, I'll add that website to the show notes just so people listening can find that nice and easily. But I love your story of spending 20 years in the industry, and then what you're doing now, obviously, is using technology to solve those legacy problems that you encountered. So more than anything, though, just a big thank you for taking the time to come on here and share that story with everyone. So thanks for joining me today.
Thanks, Neil. Thanks a lot. It's a pleasure.
So Aqilliz is a blockchain solutions provider addressing the many issues currently plaguing the platform economy. And it was founded by a team of advertising industry veterans, entrepreneurs and experienced engineers, all to solve legacy problems with new technology. And as a result, Aqilliz is able to identify sector-specific challenges in the field of digital marketing to develop these bespoke blockchain-based solutions. And within a rapidly crowding platform ecosystem, the exchange of value now takes place at an unprecedented rate across multiple destinations, with marketers struggling to efficiently manage their campaigns, connect with consumers, and track results. So, powered by Zilliqa's high-throughput blockchain platform, Aqilliz is actually able to tip the value scale and restoring the balance between brands, platforms, and consumers of content across a largely fragmented industry ecosystem. But I do know that there are many passionate Reddit communities out there who know far more about this scene than I do. So if I did miss anything, if you want to ask a question, or if you would like to come on this podcast and expand on other issues or other problems or other solutions, whatever it is, please email me, techblogwriter@outlook.com. My website is techblogwriter.co.uk. You'll find links to all my social channels and over 1,200 other interviews too. But we're out of time. But have no fear, I will be back again bright and early tomorrow. Same time, same place. So hopefully you'll join me again. But a big thank you for listening. And until next time, don't be a stranger.
Thank you for listening to the Tech Talks Daily Podcast with Neil C. Hughes. Remember, technology works best when it brings people together.